Good afternoon and welcome to September 2021's Talking Water. The topic for today is Customer Emergency Assistance Programs. And I know we do have a couple of guests joining us today via the phone instead of a computer or an app. We're really happy to have you with us today, but we do request that you remain muted so that the background noise from your home is not heard by everyone and also preserved onto the recording. Tualatin Valley Water District is a public agency. The recording of this meeting does become a public record, and it will be available on Tualatin Valley Water District's website and our YouTube channel after the event so that people can view it. And those of you that are joining on the phone, you aren't able to see the slides. You will be able to get a copy of those slides on the same website after the meeting is over. We will publish those there for you. The format for today's event is a brief presentation with some of our customer service and communication staff who have a lot of knowledge about our customer emergency assistance program offerings. And then after the presentation, there will be a question and answer period. Next slide, thanks, Justin. And the way that you use that feature, if you have the app or the computer, there is a little icon. It's the third one over at the top, third one over from the left. And it's a little thought bubble like a cartoon uses with a question mark in it. And the way that that feature works is you type in your question, and that goes and lets a staff member know that you have a question, and they review the question, and they find someone from our staff who will answer the question at the end of the program. You can use that all the way through the program at any point. And we do review those, so it takes a few minutes. So if you don't see your question published, right away, please be patient. It takes us a little bit, especially if we're doing a couple of things like I am today, where I'm monitoring that, but I'm also kicking us off. And so we will get to that. And just as a reminder, again, we're a public agency. This information is part of the public record and is viewable later. So the comments in that chat need to be free of profanity or personal attacks to be published. So we just want to do that as a reminder. And next slide, we're going to kick it off here with our host. Today's event is going to be hosted by our Chief Executive Officer, Tom Hickman, professional engineer. Go ahead, Tom.
Thank you, Andrea, and welcome everyone. Really appreciate you attending. The customer emergency assistance is a valuable service that we provide to our customers in need. This is something that our board recently and our budget committee took a very strong action to help with and increase the amount that's available to help our customers by a significant amount. So this is something that our budget committee as well as our board has put as a priority to help those customers in need. I'd also like to point out that we have one of our board members that I can see at least is on the call with us today. Commissioner Duggan is with us. So he is also listening in and able to hear any questions or concerns that you may have. One of the things that is happening, and one of the reasons why the board took the action they did, is we are all very aware that our rate increases adjusted above what the cost of living is, and that's in large part due to our alternative water supply that we're currently working on, which is the Willamette water supply. And that has really driven the need for higher than desired rate increases. But we are taking quite a few actions to keep our rate increases in check. One of them was to be a little more aggressive now, to go with higher rate increases now, which softens the blow in the future. So it's actually a bit counterintuitive, but it actually provides, if you will, an inoculation to higher rate increases in the future. In addition, we reduced our personnel services budget by 2.8%. That may not sound like a lot, but we are a lean organization. We're not flush with a lot of extra staffing. And I can tell you some of the staff that are on the call today, I could share lots of stories with you about the challenges we have with our current staffing levels to meet all the needs that we have. But not only have we addressed it on the personnel side, we also addressed this on the capital side, and we reduced our capital expenditures by $50 million over the next 2 years. So this was something we worked on in conjunction with our partners, Beaverton and Hillsborough, and we looked at elements of the Willamette project that we could postpone to a future date, and reduced our capital outlay by $50 million. So I want to say we've done all this to help our customers, but we also understand there still remains a need. And we certainly understand that we have customers that are reluctant to accept assistance, but we strongly encourage our customers that are in arrears right now to please reach out to us, communicate with us, because we do have the ability to provide some assistance. There are other sources of funding, which you're going to hear about, that are outside the district through the CARES provision, and other funding sources that could become available that we could also point you in that direction. Currently, we have over 1,500 customers that are past due, where we would be in a state of shutting off water service. That is not something we want to do. But if we haven't heard from our customers, if we're not hearing from our customers and they're in arrears, then it's really the only tool we have to take some sort of action to get our customers to be communicating with us, so we can put them in touch with various funding sources, including our own, to help them out. I also want to point out that our bills that you receive, we also do all the billing services for Clean Water Services. Clean Water Services is a separate entity managed by a separate board than us. And this is often a point of confusion where our customers are looking at their bill and not understanding that the bill, our portion of it is the drinking water side. Clean Water Services is the stormwater and sewer side of that bill. And we do the billing for Clean Water Services. So one of the things that we're working with Clean Water Services on right now is that currently for both of our organizations, we have over $1 million right now in outstanding bills that certainly have an impact on the rest of our customers and the rest of our organization. So we are doing all we can to try to get that number down and get our customers in touch with funding sources to help them. So today you're going to hear from speakers who have way more knowledge on this and much greater depth. Justin Dyke is the Outreach and Engagement Coordinator at our organization. He joined us 3 years ago and brings a marketing and campaign management experience with a decade of experience from communications agency and SolarWorld. Justin has led the district's Customer Emergency Assistance Committee as part of the district's financial response team responding to the COVID pandemic impacts. The other person we have is Cherie Ashbrook, is TVWD's customer care specialist. Cherie joined us in 2019. She has experience in waste management as a customer service and training specialist, and she manages the payment arrangements and collections. So she's key in the lead and helping us, frankly, help all of you. And then we have Trisha Postma, and she's our customer service and billing supervisor. Trisha has been with our organization now for 4 years and manages the day-to-day customer service call center, customer care, and billing operations. She joined TVWD after a career with a large water and power utility in California. So with that, I'm going to hand this over to Justin Dyke, and we will let them carry on, and we'll be taking your questions here at the end.
Thanks so much, Tom. I really appreciate everyone who's able to make it in today. We know you're busy, and we really appreciate you setting aside the time today to learn about these programs. TVWD has come through so far the COVID era and timeline, realizing that there's a lot of different ways that our customers could benefit from some assistance programs, as Tom was talking about, as we've gone through a lot of these reviews of what we had offered prior. And we're really proud to announce and continue offering some new assistance programs that are new to the district. All this information is available at tvwd.org/help for anyone who wants to review this at a later date as well. First and foremost, we recognize that customers may experience financial hardships that limit their ability to pay their utility bill, whether that be an immediate hardship now or at some point in the future. And TVWD right now is returning to normal operations, and that does include shutoffs and fees for customers who have not communicated with the customer service staff or made arrangements to bring their bill into a current status. So those are some things that are changing about the way we've been doing business just in this last year or so. But we also want our customers to know that if you're struggling financially, you're not alone. We are here to help, and we want to make sure we can make ourselves as approachable as possible. And we know sometimes it can be intimidating to call or contact someone who you have a past due balance with, but we want all of our customers to know that we fully support and want to hear from you and look forward to talking with you about your accounts. So right now we are offering an enhanced customer assistance program through October 1st. It was made available on the 1st of July, and it is wrapping up here October 1st. That program is something that the district's really never offered before. It's a $350 maximum credit, up to $350 for the past due water balance. As Tom had said earlier, we co-bill with the Clean Water Services. So all these programs that we're going to talk about today, these apply strictly to the water side of that bill. So up to $350. So if a customer has an arrearage balance that is less than $350, this would cover that entire balance. If a customer has a balance that is more than $350, that remaining balance will be placed into a payment plan. We'll go over what those payment plans look like in just a couple slides, because we do go into depth on what that is. A couple limits on how this program in particular can be used. This one is a one-time use program. And using it today or between now and October 1st would make a customer not eligible for future assistance for up to 12 months after the day of its use. So as I've already said a couple times, the program ends October 1st. And upon accepting this program, the customer would agree to returning to our regular shutoff policy for non-payments or broken promise. Broken promise is what we call something that if you have a payment plan in place with our customer care team and a customer is unable to make the prior agreed upon schedule of repayment, that counts as a broken promise. And as well, if a customer's home has any known leaks, those leaks do need to be repaired prior to eligibility. In this case, these are things often like a leak in the service line that connects the water meter to the home or somewhere else in the home's plumbing. If we've sent a field customer service representative to help troubleshoot a customer and we've noticed that there is a higher than average consumption or other evidence of a leak, that's something that gets recorded in our system, and we do need that leak to be repaired before the customer would be eligible. And outside of these programs today, we do have a leak assistance, leak repair program as well. So please don't feel like you'd be out on your own with that straddled inconvenience. So a couple eligibility requirements here on the right side. Customers need to be at 80% median income per household size, or receiving SSI, SNAP, TANF, or WIC benefits. If that sounds familiar to anyone, that's because this is closely modeled after the CARES program, which was a federal program to help folks with their utility bill payments that was offered through 2020, that we did a lot of outreach to our customers to take advantage of that program earlier. So we're closely modeling that in the footstep. Customers also need to be a single-family residential home receiving the TBWD bill directly, meaning not living in an apartment complex with a master meter, or not living in a duplex or other home where the meter is shared amongst multiple households. Essentially, it needs to be a situation where a single water meter is responsible for recording the billing usage for a single household. And receiving the bill directly, just because that way we can see exactly what the charges are, and we know that there's not other additional fees or other things being placed upon the home by a landlord or something like that. Customer needs to have a past due water balance and must be a current district customer, as in not having recently moved out and ended their service with us. And how do we determine the eligibility and make sure that anyone who does apply is properly eligible? Well, for this program, it is self-certifying. So you can either contact customer service, or you can go to tvwd.org/help. There's an online form there, and we simply ask that you agree and attest to filling out the information to the best of your knowledge, and you've been truthful and so forth. As well, there is third-party verification that can be run through with Community Action of Oregon, that's CAO. We do work with Community Action as one of their known utilities that offers assistance. So if you're already working with them and their team for other methods of assistance, other programs, you can ask them to talk to you about the TBWD Enhanced Customer Assistance Program. Now, this is all through October 1st. So what is available after October 1st is our new customer emergency assistance, pardon me. So after October 1st, so starting available October 2nd, customers are available for a payment of up to 28 CCFs and the applicable fixed charges. So at current water rates, that's $191.34. And again, that's the current water rates. We did just go through a rate cycle, so those rates are going to change in November of this year. And as long as this program continues on, that rate could change in the future as well. Again, payment plans will be applicable for any customer balances beyond the 28 CCF, or currently $191.34 on the water portion of the bill. And similar to their programs, this is available once per use every 12-month period. That's a rolling 12 months as well. So for example, if a customer is taking advantage of this program on October 2nd, they would not be eligible again until October 3rd of the following year. And the customer has a stated emergency. This is for an internal tracking purpose so that we can get a better understanding and general knowledge of the types of situations our customers are facing, whether that's a loss of income or a family emergency. It doesn't need to be anything very personable or detailed. It's just merely for us to know and have a better understanding of what is going on in the world that our customers are facing, and how we can be a best to be a good partner and be good to our community. And the program will automatically suspend if funds deplete. Now, these programs are budgeted on a biennium, a 2-year budget cycle, and we prorate the available funds to make sure the program is available throughout the entirety of that budget biennium. We wouldn't want to deplete the program early in a biennium and have nothing be available for customers later on. So we do try to prorate and bring that money to be available throughout the entirety of the budget cycle so that it's available for customers. We know that nobody can exactly plan an emergency or be aware of when they might need assistance. Things happen, and we want this program to be available when it's needed for those customers. For eligibility requirements, this program will be eligible for those that are 60% median income per household size. And the rest of this is going to sound pretty familiar. Single family residential customer receiving the TBWD bill directly. So again, a single family household where a single water meter records the usage for billing purposes. The bill is received directly so that it's not having any potential extra charges or fees through a landlord or other similar situations. must have a past due water balance, and the customer must be current in the district, so you can't move out and have already terminated service with the water district. And this will be a third-party verification program through Community Action as well. And we're going to get more now into the flexible payment plans, and I'm going to transition this over to my colleague Cherie Ashbrook, because she is the one who's managing these payment plans and truly the expert on the topic. So Cherie, take it over.
Thank you so much, Justin. So we're offering two repayment options. The first option is our feasible pay plan. Our feasible pay plan allows customers the flexibility on their installment payment amount. Since we bill every other month, a customer will pay their current charges by the due date on the month that they are billed, and then the following month they would pay an installment payment. So your installment payment can be as low as the arrearage divided by 12. So 12 payments will have the arrangement paid in full within 2 years. So, for example, if you do have a bill that's $1,000 and you want to go ahead and pay that off in 10 payments, you would pay $100 every other month. When you receive your bill, then you would go ahead and pay the total current charges for your water, sewer, and swim. So if your bill's $250, you would pay that by the due date. And then the next month, you would go ahead and you would pay $100 for an installment payment that goes towards the total arrearage. Our next option is our equal pay plan. Our equal pay option, it works really well for customers that have a bill that fluctuates throughout the year, or for customers that would just like to pay an equal amount each month. What we do with this option is that we take your total arrearage balance, and then we add that to the average, to your total bills for the last 2 years, and then we average those out. So for example, if you had an arrearage of $1,000 and over the last 2 years, you've had an average bill of $300, for the next 2 years, you would go ahead and pay $200 a month. And then on an annual basis, we do take a look at that to make sure that your balance would be paid in full within the 2-year time period. Those are our two main plans. We just do ask to, communicate with us and continue to talk with us if we need to make any adjustments. That basically covers those two options. Justin, I'm going to go ahead and flip it back to you.
Thanks, Cherie. And as we wrap up the main part of today's presentation, wanted to make sure that customers are aware of some other resources available that are from the community, not offered or managed through TVWD, though these are some resources that we've been talking to these organizations and are well aware of their capabilities to support our customers if needed. The first one, as we mentioned already, is Community Action of Oregon in Washington County. They administer a lot of different aid programs for Washington County residents. They are currently working on the Oregon Emergency Rental Assistance Program. They also have been running the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LIHEAP, for some time now. And they also have a variety of housing stability programs. So any customers of ours that have been previously working to have assistance through their PGE or their Northwest Natural bill, or for heating oil, or any other housing stability, LIHEAP programs, you might be familiar with Community Action already. And we encourage you to ask your Community Action representatives about water utility programs with Tualatin Valley Water District. As well, St. Vincent de Paul, Washington County, and Providence Community Resource Desk are another options. And Care to Share is a great option for those in the Washington County and Beaverton area, which is a collaboration effort through multiple churches around our region here locally. And again, the Oregon Emergency Rental Assistance Program, it is new and recently launched, but it does offer utility assistance for renters. We are aware that there is a significant backlog of applications that are trying to be processed through, but that program is fairly robust, and we encourage people, if you are a renter, to look into that. As well, the Oregon Department of Human Services can be reached by dialing 211 or going to 211.org for more help. And in the near future, there will be a similar program to LIHEAP, which will be the Low Income Household Water Assistance Program. That'll be a federal program very similar to LIHEAP for water utility assistance. And when that program is available, we will be putting all that information and anything that we can do to help customers navigate that program on our website at tvwd.org/help. That's it for the main part of the presentation today. So I'm going to turn this back over to Andrea for a Q&A period.
Thank you, Justin and Cherie, for that presentation. We really appreciate the overview. And now we turn it over to you, and we have had a couple of questions come in. The first one, I'm going to read the question, and then Tricia Postma, our customer service and billing supervisor, is going to answer it. And this question is, are there any assistance available for people on SSDI or seniors? So this is Social Security Disability for disabled or seniors. Tricia?
Thank you, Andrea. And thank you, Fran, for your question. So in regards to the SSDI, you would qualify, I believe, under the participants under the supplemental security. You're usually qualified for those assistance programs through community action, as well as the voucher that we offer. It is based off of your income in your household. So I would suggest applying for those, and then we can get you all squared away. Back to you, Andrea.
Thanks, Tricia. And just, there is some confusion. We don't have a program specifically for people who are on a Social Security income, you know, the type of income that you pay into while you work and then you draw it out when you're older. Those people on that program could be eligible if their income was below the threshold for qualifying. But usually people that are on the disability one, they're getting supplemental payments. They're not drawing from that money that people pay in while they're employees, and those people generally, their income has been low enough to qualify. So like Tricia said, just to reiterate, if you are in doubt and you're having trouble paying your bill, you know, pursue these programs and apply, and they will let you know if you qualify. So the last question that we have in so far, and we would be happy to take more, is, do these programs only apply to Tualatin Valley Water District charges? And what about the clean water services? And I think, Tom, this is kind of a policy thing, so maybe we could have you take the first crack at answering that. And if anybody else wants to join in when Tom is finished, you can add to the answer.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Andrea. So we are working with Clean Water Services, and Clean Water Services just recently got a significant approval from the Washington County Commissioners for $2 million to help out customers, not just for Clean Water Services, but for utilities. They're working out the details on how they're going to make that money available. We haven't, I don't believe we've gotten the final details of how that money will be made available, but that money is going to be available to help people with clean water services, as well as with other utilities they may be struggling with. And I don't know if Cherie or Tricia, you may have some additional, more recent information on where we're at with those funds.
I can go ahead and speak to a little bit about the program. Like Justin had said before, that $350 for the voucher program is specific to just the TVWD water charges. So that is available for those that qualify, and we provide that here. There is the rental assistance program, which covers both the TVWD and the clean water. Because we are unified in that regard, it would cover the entire balance that's on there. There are the other programs, like Tom was suggesting, that are coming later on to be able to help. Because we are unified and we are TVWD and Clean Water Services, there is that differentiating there, but that is just primarily for the voucher payment for the $350 that gets applied to water only. But if you are in need of assistance, please just communicate with us, reach out, because even if you don't qualify for any of these programs, our goal is to help you as best we can with the option of these two long-term payment arrangements. And even if you don't have a significantly high bill, but you're still needing some assistance or needing a little bit more time to pay on what you have there, please just communicate with us. Give us a call, and any of our representatives in customer care would love the opportunity to be able to speak with you to see what we can do to assist you or point you in the right direction of where to go for financial assistance or any kind of arrangement. We truly are here to help you, and we just need you to give us a call so that we can do that. Back to you, Andrea.
Okay, well, that does conclude the questions that have come in so far. And so again, we want to thank you for your time. I'll turn it over to you, Tom, to close. But if we don't get any additional questions here, we will have the recording available. And again, we look forward to hearing from you if you are struggling to pay your bill, so that we can determine what the best path for you to get that taken care of would be for you.
Thank you, Andrea. Again, I want to emphasize, we do want to help. We do not have any desire to turn somebody's water off. We much prefer to work with you and find solutions that work for you and work for us to help get any of your bills current that we can help with. One of the things that I also want to make sure that we know that you may have friends, family that are in the district, neighbors. Please feel free to make them aware of this this program and that they can watch this video online and see what we're talking about here. And they can also reach out to us if they're needing help. So again, I can't emphasize enough, we really need more than anything to be in a communication so that we're in a situation that we can actually have a conversation and figure out what works best for our customers. So please feel free to reach out. We have staff that are here and able to help and point you in various directions for assistance. So with that, that's all we have. I want to thank everyone for attending, and we look forward to next month's Talking Water.